It was kind of interesting, you know, in the early 1990s when the top of my head blew off and I kind of was staggering around trying to make sense of what was happening to me, because suddenly I was seeing the world in a very different way, and I was seeing myself in a very different way. Some people call it a spiritual awakening. Notice spiritual awakening, not religious awakening. I'm going to have some t-shirts done, you know, God save us from religion. It's kind of funny, you know, you talk about spirituality, people think you're talking about religion. Often it's the opposite. Not always, but often. And religion for me is, in many cases, the opposite of spirituality. In my definition of religion, religion is the greatest form of mind control yet invented, and at its most extreme, psychological fascism. The manipulation of fear and guilt to control. Spirituality is the opposite of that. It is setting the spirit free, celebrating our uniqueness, because we're all aspects of the same whole, but we're all unique aspects of the same whole. And crucially, respecting everyone else's right to express their uniqueness, free from imposition of someone else's belief system, someone else's version of right and wrong, moral and immoral. All this is crucial to how a few control the world. Because we have become, yes, in many cases, terrorized into denying what we are unique. And once we do that, we become a herd mentality. And it is the herd mentality that is the vehicle for the manipulation of the world by a very few people. I'll give you an example of what I mean. Symbolic example. I was down south in England, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago now, and across this great area of, it was one of these Iron Age hill fort type things, but across it was this vast herd of sheep, hundreds of them. Never seen so many sheep in one place. And it's a nice day, you know, and I'm enjoying the day. And then the farmer arrives in his pickup truck, parks it, gets out of the truck, and I swear to you, I don't think he even moved an eyelid. Stood there against a stick. 1 or 2 or 3 of the sheep immediately react to, it must have been his eyelids, I guess, I don't know, because they're going in the desired direction. Within minutes, it's like Exodus. Hundreds of them are following the one in front, you know. I haven't got mine of my own, we did this yesterday, so we do it tomorrow, I guess we'll do it today, and all that stuff. And the few stragglers, and there were remarkably few, who didn't immediately conform to what you might call that bar mentality, they were given the extra dose of fear with the sheepdog. Row, 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 row. All right, I'll go quietly. This combination of the bar and the fear rounded up this vast herd of sheep in a ridiculously short time. And I stood there and I thought, because I do from time to time, I'm looking at the human race here. This is how it's done. This is how a few can actually control the mass. Because you can't do it with tanks in the streets and soldiers at the door. There's too many people. It's like trying to physically herd sheep together. You can't do it. You'd need a man, maybe more than one, for every sheep to do it physically. You have to do it through the mind. Either through fear or through conditioning people to think the way you want them to think. So these hundreds of sheep were rounded up by one fella flicking his eyelids every now and again, and a sheepdog dispensing fear. And that's how it's done in human terms also. It's amazing the extent to which we have given our power away, our spiritual power. It's all about taking our power back. Because once we do that, it's all over. The great pyramid of manipulation becomes impossible. But when we give it away, we're a doddle to manipulate.
Why? Preconceived idea of the person is editing the information being received to fit the preconceived idea. And we're doing this all the time. So another part of freeing ourselves is to free ourselves from belief. Not free-flowing, okay, I'm looking at this is what I feel at the time, but I'm open that it's something else in the light of new information. Instead of belief, rigid belief, I'm going to edit my reality to fit the belief. Where they want us to believe. Because when we believe, we are in a box. They want believers. They don't care if you believe fanatically in Islam or Judaism or Christianity or Barack bloody Obama. As long as you believe rigidly in something, then you have immediately reduced your ability to expand consciousness and read reality in an expanded way. Religion is mind. That's what it is. You see, once you have, I have this saying that I have, if you can tell me what you believe, you are in a prison. Because beliefs, when you give them names, take on identities. So, what are you? I'm a Christian. Okay, that means you must believe this or you're not a Christian. I'm a Muslim. That means you must believe this or you're not a Muslim. So once you say, here's the name of what I believe, the wall starts appearing, the rules and regulations appear, and people say, you can't say that, or you're not a Christian, you're not a Muslim. And again, the box is formed. Everything just is. We all just are. This is infinite possibility we're experiencing. And once you start to go into these systems of belief, then we're disconnecting from that and we become fragments of mind. These are people in a hypnotist stage show who have been hypnotized, even though they're not, to believe that they are evangelical Christians. Right? It's a mind game. You can make people do this. And they'll read reality like that. And therefore not be all possibility. Worship. I am all that is, has been, and ever can be. And I'm worshipping? And I'm looking up to something as if it's bigger and better than me? We are all the same one consciousness. And that one consciousness needs to look itself in the eye, not up there. We can respect people, fine. But giving our power away to them, worshipping them? Once we go into that mode, we're saying, I'm little me and they're up there. We're all one infinite consciousness, bar none. And these are prisons of the mind, prisons of consciousness that keep us from consciousness. We call them religion, politics, race, the biggest one, self-identity, that hold us in servitude to little me, to limitation. I identify with my race. Why? It's a vehicle for your consciousness to experience this reality. What are you identifying with being black, white, or sky blue, pink for? It's just a vehicle. And it's all limitation. And when we see life through the tunnel vision of preconceived idea and rigid belief, we're never going to A, express our true magnificence, and B, we're never going to understand what the hell we're part of and what we're doing here. Because scientific experiments have shown that when you have a rigid belief system, whatever it is, the neurons in the brain fire off in a certain pattern. And in doing so, they are reading reality to fit the belief. And therefore, if we think in any belief system or perception system in the terms of limitation and little me, then what we create is the prison walls that put us in positions where we live lives of little me. Not because we are, because we believe we are. What can I do? I'm just little me. Well, that's it then. What are you going to do with your life? Nothing. Why? Because you don't believe that that's possible. I am infinite consciousness, all that has been, ever will be. Now I can start to come from that level instead of little me, and I can do things that a little me mentality would never do. Not because I'm better than little me, but because I don't believe I'm little me. And this one does. So if we open our minds and let the demons out, the demons of programming, out, and get this blank sheet of paper going. I am not going to read reality on what I've thought up to now. I'm gonna let the information be my guide. And if it is at odds with my religious belief system, my political belief system, or my cultural belief system, then that's fine, but I'm gonna go with information. And when we do that, it makes such a fantastic difference in our lives and what we can do and what we can achieve and make happen. Because if we are at our core, as we are, the real us, all possibility, then if we don't express that, then we're already withdrawing from what we are, all possibility, and we're living a few possibilities, very few in terms of many people. And it's the time to choose between whether we're going to be dominated by the head, particularly the left brain, its perception of reality, limitations, structure, everything apart from everything else. You can't do this, that's not possible, that's impossible. Or we're going to open the heart vortex that connects us with the intuitive knowing of the infinite consciousness. Open the right brain and let its ability to see things connected to impact on our understanding of reality and who we are.
So we have this crazy world, and it gets crazier. The idea is to keep us so focused on survival. It's like that mass mind control manual that came to light a few years ago called Silent Weapons for a Quiet War, how to manipulate the population. And one of the lines in it said, keep them busy, busy, busy back on the farm with the other animals. So the more you can keep us in a state of survival, more and more stress. Look, mate, you might be saying interesting things, but I live in the real world, mate. That's the idea, to keep us in that state of stress. And we're now bringing it to younger and younger people. Kids under tremendous stress to pass exams, to show how indoctrinated they are in the system. Oh, must pass your exams. Oh, my son got I've seen it on car stickers. My son got so-and-so, so-and-so. I'm very pleased for you. By the way, he got it, you didn't. This parental glory-seeking. Oh, you've got to pass your exams. You're going to be a banker. Your mum wants you to be a banker. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Whatever happened to life? How do you spell happy, teacher? What's all that about? Did we ever talk about that? Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? You know, people, we have these measurements of success that are sold to us that we take on, and they're all about more and more and more. How many more people are this? How many more people are that? How many more people are this? How many more people have passed degrees? How many more people have got a mortgage? How many more people? And yet it's the other way. It tells the real story. How few people are unfulfilled. How few people are under stress. How few people are ill. How few people are homeless. How few people are terrified of the future. These are the measurements of a success of society, surely, not more and more and more. You know, we have an economic system which I call take, make and throw away, where the whole thing of success is called economic growth, is how fast you can take from the earth, turn it into things, sell more things, throw away more things and start again. The faster you do that, the more successful you are. And we call it the cutting edge of human society. It's turning the planet into a shithole. And we have the cleverness up to a point, although if we went to wisdom, we would find that technologically we would advance by enormous strides. But we have the cleverness through mind at the moment to create some amazing technology. Things that could make the world a better place for everybody. But we use that technology to pepper bomb cities full of civilians. We are now such at the cutting edge of human evolution that we can kill more people than ever before. And we do. We're in a world where it seems okay for children to sign their names on bombs that then drop and kill other children. Like I say, we think the world is sane. Well, we people in this room don't, but so many people do, when it is utterly insane. And what keeps people from understanding this? The constant hypnotic trance that we put in. You are feeling sleepy. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You don't want to know about pepper bombing cities? Watch this. Shut up. Quick, honey. She's going for the car. Whoa. We live in a world of plenty, and yet people starve for the want of the basics. We have food galore in some parts of the world, which comes often from the parts of the world that go hungry. And we throw away more food than most people eat in many, many months. I've seen this in Ecuador. People living on rubbish tips, waiting for the vans to come from the Western hotels to pour the rubbish food, thrown away food on, and then they go and eat for the day from it. The world that we've allowed to happen. But don't look at that. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Look at this. Shut up. Hey, quick, honey. The Steelers are going to score. Cool, yeah. I've got nothing against that. I love sport. But if we are in a situation where that becomes the focus of our reality at the exclusion of everything else, then while we're looking here, hell is going on here to stitch us up in the way that we have been. Oh, shut up. What's on the telly, honey? And then we drop bombs on the most crowded piece of land on the earth, Gaza. We protect ourselves. That's what we do. We do it to protect ourselves, apparently. This is what we do. This is liberation. Yay, liberation. And it's been going on. This is Vietnam. In the 20th century, humans killed well in excess of 100 million other humans in wars and conflicts. And it's still going on. Tick-tock, tick-tock, well, you don't want to see that. Hey, quick, honey, Paris Hilton's half naked in the back of a limousine. Come and look, it's really good. And that's the new religion. Instead of living life, hey, this is me, I'm going to live my life. Ooh, isn't that she got a nice dress on there's this show, isn't she, and stuff. Oh, look, she's going to marry so-and-so. Oh, they're being divorced, yeah. It's the new religion. The celebrity. The religion of celebrity. I'm just in the supermarket. Oh, yeah, I'm getting some beans. They're up there. They don't have to shop in a supermarket because they're different. And then we have a situation where we have a system called money, which is based on money that has never, does not, and will never exist. Steps back in amazement to say it again. I didn't quite catch that. We have become so divorced from the world that we live in that most people never ask the simple question, what is money? When you go into a bank and you ask for a loan, $50,000 or something, what does the bank do? It does nothing in terms of moving precious metal anywhere, printing money, anything. It just types into your account $50,000. And from that moment on, you start paying back interest and eventually the principal, if you're lucky, on the $50,000. Because the same people that have controlled the politicians and the governments who controlled the banks, legislation has been passed which allows banks to lend at least 10 times, and my God, it's at least 10 times, what they have on deposit. So every time you put $1 in a bank, you're giving them the right legally to lend $10 dollars. And interestingly, when you, say, take out a loan for $50,000, that $50,000 has been given to your computer screen on the basis of someone else putting a fraction of that in the bank. And then you take that $50,000 and maybe you give someone $20,000 to buy something. They'll take that $20,000, which has already been created out of nothing, and they'll put it in another bank. Now the $20,000 from the original $50,000 gives this bank the right to lend 10 times the $20,000. And so it goes on. What a bank can create out of nothing and charge interest on to the population from $1 or $100 or whatever the figure is fantastic. And we don't ask questions. I've talked to economists, you know, who are earning cuckoo land amounts of money on the telly and stuff. I say, what is money? How is it created? They can't tell you. They never thought about it. It's just there. It's government's here. No. It's the DNA of this society which holds this society more than anything else in so many ways, on a physical level, in servitude. Money created out of nothing, called debt, credit, which we then spend the rest of our lives paying back. But don't look at that. Don't let them know that. Tick, tick, tick. Hey, quick, honey, it's the Jerry Springer show. This man's going to punch his girlfriend. Come and look, honey. These are all the diversions, constantly. And then, of course, these people will tell you all the news that those that own the media want you to believe is true. It's what news is. And the whole foundation of all of it is be afraid, be very afraid. The big bad monster is coming as soon as we've invented him. Keep people in fear. Keep people in states of stress. And crucially, this will have implications as we go through the day, keep them in a state of surviving. Because while they're doing that, they will be in a state of focus on survival rather than looking at the big picture of what's going on.